I'd like to introduce our special guest today, David Clothier. So David, can you tell us a little bit about Pilot Flying J and about your role at the company?
Yeah. My name is David Clothier. I am a VP of Finance here at Pilot, essentially responsible for all things that are a number. 3 years ago, I was also given the business side responsibility for our entire Infor ERP project. So that's how I kind of got involved. We are 25-year users of the financial product called Lawson, which Infor acquired, and we now own 7 or 8 different modules. Pilot itself is a national retailer, both in the U.S. and Canada. We have about 700 retail locations. We serve the trucking community, the professional driver community, as well as soccer moms and vacation travelers and anybody who travels the interstates. We offer a combination truck stop, convenience store, and then a series of QSR or fast food restaurants, and seek to be, about every 100 miles on the interstate, no matter which direction anybody goes. We were founded in 1958 with one little convenience store up in Gate City, Virginia, and grew through the 80s when we discovered the, quote, travel center, and today we have approximately 700 of those, in addition to still owning 50 C-stores. So, great company. Now over around $30 billion a year in sales, and just over 50 years old.
Well, that's amazing growth, David. It sounds like with such a large enterprise organization, you probably have a wide variety of analytic needs and a wide variety of analytic use cases. Do you mind telling us about some of those use cases that you're leveraging Birst for today?
Yeah, that's a great question. Birst has opened up a whole world of opportunities to us because, as I told you earlier, we did buy 7 or 8 different modules. So we have workforce management and asset management, the full financial suite, global HR. What we have never been able to do is really report against all those different data sets, and even not report that well against the individual data sets. So by having kind of a common platform and a common data set, the Birst data lake in the cloud, if you will, we're now really unwrapping some powerful tools to be able to, gather data from different parts of the organization and utilize it to see different things, analyze things from a different perspective, and gaining really quite good insight. To this point, we used to use a series of tools, Microsoft Analysis Services Cubes, tools called ProClarity, and so forth. And it was just real cacophony of different things. Ultimately, it led everybody back into kind of an Excel-based, grab your data and run back to Excel kind of, food fight, if you will. But now we're really trying to stick within the analytics tool itself, whether it's a visual we need to produce, whether it's a report, whether it's an analytic. The nice thing about Birst is you can kind of do it all in one place. If you want to publish it, you throw it up on a dashboard and out it goes. So really nice from a one-stop shop kind of standpoint.
Well, it's great to hear that you've really been able to push analytics so much further out into the organization, and especially in finance where trust and governance has to be so important. How important is it to you to have that single trusted version of the truth now versus all the data silos that you were talking about earlier?
It is hugely important to have kind of a single set of data. We have never had that. Therefore, we have been perpetually in the meetings where 2 people have 2 schedules with 2 different sets of data that are supposed to tell the same things, and they don't, which, inevitably leads to the meeting fist fight of data. So it is nice to have it all in one world and coming out of one tool. It saves a lot of time and redundant work. We're very appreciative of that. Just today we were actually working on gathering some data out of the HR system on turnover and comparing it to the ability of a store to hit its sales budget. And the theory is, hey, if you have lower turnover, should you have better sales? And should you be more likely to hit your budget? Heretofore, that was either impossible or took you weeks to gather the data, then you threw it together in some other tool. We literally pulled it off in less than a day, and we had not even modeled the data until this point. And what do you know? The lower your turnover, the better your sales, and you are more likely to hit your sales budget. So that was never available, and that type of thing is, we think, just the tip of the iceberg, but is fascinating.
It's always amazing to hear stories about customers like Pilot Flying J that have these very complex environments and how they really struggle to have all their enterprise data in one place, and how difficult that has made it for people to really optimize and make effective decisions. So, given that you're using Birst in a lot of different ways, have you seen any kind of return on investment or improvements in processes because of Birst?
Yeah. So in terms of ROI and returns that we're beginning to see on Birst, previously had just a number of different products, which means a number of different licenses, which means a number of different silos within the organization using different tools, whether that was Access in Excel, those tools, or who knows what, Pro Clarity and other things. And what we've been able to do with Birst is decommission a lot of other products, get rid of a lot of technical debt, simplify our data modeling down to really a single set of data models in support of a single product. So seeing some really nice hard returns there in just the retirement of either subscriptions or technical debt. And then just the data itself is beginning to reveal so much more to us in so much more real time. The other thing that we've always struggled to do is make things simple for our retail store managers. So our lifeblood is the front line of the retail store. And we seek people that are gregarious and outgoing and friendly and high energy, yet we do need them to understand, hey, your store, has a financial impact. It has an income statement. We need you to understand that. So what Birst has allowed is we produce an income statement that's the old-fashioned, lines on a page, which makes sense to a lot of people, but not to everybody. But Birst secondarily has allowed us to produce a visual income statement that says, okay, if you're more of a picture person, here, we've got that for you. We got that. We got the line version, we got the picture version. And if you're a picture person, here you go. Well, all of a sudden, the light bulbs go on for these people that otherwise, hey, I wasn't really a financial person. I kind of didn't know what you were talking about. I'm sort of afraid to tell you, but I should have told you. And now it's like, oh, I get it. So these are the two areas I ought to work on. Yes, sir, or yes, ma'am. Those are the two areas you ought to work on. And it's just so much easier to see it in a visualization in a lot of cases than it is in a hardcore report. That said, Birst is able to produce both, so we're able to offer both. And whichever is your cup of tea, you can make your own choice.
David, that's a perfect example of the power of analytics when you can push it down to the very edge of the enterprise. Instead of the data and insights being locked up in IT or just in a central organization, you've now decentralized the analytics, pushing it out to the furthest users in the organization. And that's really at the point of impact, where people can make decisions that ultimately drive the business in a better direction. Now, given what you've been able to accomplish so far, what are you most excited about with Birst 7 now?
Birst, powerful tool. The more I learn, the more I realize we have barely scratched the surface. But to this point, it wasn't the easiest thing to maneuver around in, particularly for a finance person who, in our startup here, ended up doing a little bit of the admin and had to see some of the behind the scenes. But with Birst 7, what we're seeing is a lot of that has been simplified, turned into HTML code where I'm clicking buttons and I'm selecting users. We really are enjoying that. You can see the beginnings of that over on just the kind of the financial reporting, visualization, development side. Those screens are cleaning up. Just a lot easier to use, makes a lot more sense. The workflows within it are easier to train our team on. So we're really excited. Again, beneath the surface, there's 1,000,001 good tools we have barely sniffed. But getting to them now looks as though it's going to be much, much easier and much, much more intuitive.
Well, that's exciting to hear about, David. And we love to hear customers that are enjoying the product, but also are pushing the envelope and really pushing us to create an even better experience for them. Now, given what you've been able to accomplish thus far, where are you taking analytics in the future for Pilot Flying J?
Here's the question we get all the time. I'm a busy store manager, or I'm a busy office manager. I love the reports, I love the visualization, but you know what? Just do what my iPhone does. Tell me exactly what I need to do. Tell me what's wrong, and I'll do it. Simplify my life, shorten things up. I don't even want to go poking around to find my own problems. I'd really like you just to hit me in the face with them and tell me, David, go fix A, B, and C. To turn loose some of the AI type technologies against the data sets and weaving that in with Birst, and begin to identify the data anomalies, the problems in a store, the things that are awkward financially or look to be off, and bubble those up using AI, if you will, so that our managers are saved that much more time. And it says, hey, go fix your deli margin, or it looks like your utilities are way out of control, and that's what I need you to have a look at. Are your lights being turned off at night and whatever? Rather than making someone go, fish for their own fish, we just want to serve those up to them.
Well, David, I think you are really going to enjoy the new Smart Insights capabilities available in Birst 7. And I just want to thank all of our guest speakers today, and especially David Clothier from Pilot Flying J.